Okay, so this is my Notion dashboard, aka my second brain. And so first up, the first thing you'll notice are all these nice photos. So the way that I got them was I just found them on Pinterest and Google Images. I just typed in aesthetic clouds, aesthetic cloud GIFs, and these were the ones that I found. So I recommend importing everything into your computer and then uploading them as images. So the way you do that is, I'll show you guys. You type in /image and you can upload an image from your computer. So you can see here, I'll just pick a random photo and bam, here's your photo. And then you can drag it around by grabbing these 6 little dots and moving it wherever you want it to go so that it looks nice. So yeah, but obviously you definitely don't have to do this. This is completely optional. Okay, so the first thing I want to highlight is this navigation bar. It is super useful to put your navigation bar in the top left corner because when you're looking on your phone, it will be the first thing that you see since you have to scroll vertically through everything. It's not the most convenient thing to do on the phone, but if you want to have your navigation system at the top of each page on your phone and just in every single page of your dashboard, then you can use this synced block, which is red, as you can see, and it's linked in 12 other pages. And the way you make a synced block is you just go /sync, and then there'll be synced block, and then voila, you have a synced block, and you can add in pages in there, and then you can have a navigation system. So I love this navigation system because it allows me to go to all of the most important pages in my Notion. As you can see on all of the pages, there is a navigation system. Okay, so now that we've gone over the navigation system, let's go over a little bit this notification system right over here, the notification center. As you can see here, it shows me how many tasks I have due today. Well, also today's date, also because I do tend to forget what day it is. It also says how many tasks I have due today, how many overdue tasks I have, and also how many active projects I have. And so this updates automatically, and it updates automatically from this place, the deadline dump. So the deadline dump is the most important database that I have in Notion because I use it on most of my pages in Notion. And so this is where I dump all of the deadlines of the semester, of the year, of the next however many weeks that I know of. And so this is where all of my assignments due dates go in for my classes. As you can see here, I have 2 classes in here, neuroscience and pseudoscience. I'm not actually taking them this semester. They're from before last year, but this is just an example. And so also I have, as you can see here, hold on, I'll go down here. And also I included in here like YouTube video deadlines. I also have gifts for birthdays because birthdays are set in stone and they're not going to move. So you kind of have to buy gifts by a certain date for birthday. And even when my bills are due, like my LASIK follow-up appointment. So basically anything that has a set deadline that cannot be moved, like for example, my LASIK appointment, I know that it's super hard to get an appointment, so I'm going to prioritize that no matter what. So basically, this is the place, the deadline dump is the place for all of the immovable deadlines that are stressing me out, hence the skull, because I hate deadlines, but then again, deadlines are the only reason I get anything done in this life. So as you can see here, I also have the status, so that up here, it shows all of the things that I haven't started. Then in here are things in progress, and then here are all the past things that I've done. And also I have, as you can see here, I have it asking whether it's today, if it's due today. So here's the formula for today. You guys can see it here. It's quite simple. You can just copy that. I will be also listing the formulas in the description box so you can copy and paste them. I also used this formula, and basically it just shows that if I haven't completed the assignment by its due date right here, then it's going to be overdue, of course. And also I have days left here, just counting the amount of days left until the due date. And as you can see, it also shows overdue, due today, due tomorrow, etc. And so here this is generated by AI. So this is the week. And this is going to be important later, as you will see. I also filter my deadline dump by the weeks. And so the way that the AI corresponds the certain week of the year to the dates that they are due is by, I go into edit property, and then I go to AI autofill right here, and then I go to more, And then I literally wrote the instructions. So I said, match the week number to the corresponding week of 2024 that the date under the due date column falls into. So as you can see here, let's move this date from this overdue. Let's say the neuroscience exam, instead of being on the 18th, let's move it to the 28th. So now it moved down here, as we can see. So it still shows right now week 7 like it was due on the 18th. But now we just click update, and now it has updated to accurately reflect the correct week. So unfortunately, you do have to, if you do change the dates, you will have to update the week, but it'll automatically do it. So you don't have to do the math yourself of trying to figure out what week is this date falling into. But yeah, so that's how I made AI filter the weeks, as you can see. And so that's the overview of the deadline dump. And I will say this is the most important thing in my life, basically, because all of the immovable deadlines go in here, and that way I also am notified and reminded of them in my notification center, like especially for the classes where I would have a bunch of assignments, like little ones due every other day. It was important for me to see when the tasks are due that day. And okay, so as you can see here, I also have some widgets on this page. So I just have here like how many exercise sessions I've done, how many YouTube videos I've done, how many new things I've done, and how many courses I've completed. That should be 0. And yeah, so basically this is just like a counter of, you know, how many things I've done this year. Of course, you can change this yourself, and all of these widgets are from Indify. So, and this is Indify, so you can see all these different kinds of widgets. So this particular one is called a counter, so you can just find it here. Let's say hypothetically you want to count how many dates you've been on this year. So let's say dates been on. You could then change the color of the text. Let's make it like pink for Valentine's Day kind of vibes. And you can change the background color if you want to as well. But yeah, and the way you would embed it then is you would copy this link and you would go here and paste it, and there, paste with Command V, and then you create embed, and voila, there you have your little counter. And now you can add information in here, and it's just, I think, a cool summary of the year. And so this is just a quote widget, this is a weather widget, also from Indify, also a clock widget. But unfortunately, because of the bathroom renovations, this is basically the only time that I can film a normal voiceover when everyone is also not being super loud in my family. These little stickers are from Jiffy, so you can type in, for instance, Kiki's delivery service. That's where I got the icon GIF, and also for the page. So, oh, there, okay. Well, of course, when I want to show you guys, nothing works. Okay, Studio Ghibli. Okay, so here, as you can see, I have, okay, so here you can see I typed in Studio Ghibli, and there's like a million different cute little stickers and GIFs. And so you can see here, this is the one that I used for my icon for the top of the page, and this is also one that I used on that page. And so then you would just go anywhere here on the page, you can do and paste it, the link, and create embed. And then also here, you can also, if you click on the icon, you can go to custom, you can paste the link, submit, and then it will be there. Ta-da! And last but not least, this is a border that I made myself in Canva, and it honestly takes 2 minutes if you regularly use Canva. As you can see here, I just made a bunch of clouds, and I just got, like, for instance, like this one, and then I just copied and pasted them across the 1500 by 300 pixel rectangle. Also, it's not going to look that good in dark mode. Command Shift L, you can switch the light to dark mode, and you would then need a transparent background, but I never use dark mode, so that's just something to be aware of. Okay, so now let's get into actually how I plan my life. So here is the today page, and as you can see, I use call out blocks to create the 4 different sections of my life. So you just type /call out, and then it looks like that, and you type in basically whatever you want in there. You can type it outside, to do, that's how you make a to-do list, /to do, and then you can just drag it in. And that's how you make a call out block. And then here would be the title, like title, ta-da. And then you can also make this line by just doing 3 straight lines in a row and then drag it in. And there you go. Super simple. So it's important for me to see my life relative to today. this week, this month, or the quarter of the year, as you guys will see the 12-week year, and also the year at a glance. I really just feel like this is the best way for me to get a sense of time, since I'm very bad with time blindness. It also really helps me stop struggling with daydreaming and just constantly like floating off into just like some 20-year plan or something, or some completely bizarre future, and instead just stay really grounded in what's going on right now so I can focus on getting things done today. And so here, as you can see, the sections I have are work, fitness, studies, and meals. Of course, you can change relative to like your priorities. So this is basically based off of half of Eisenhower's matrix. So Eisenhower's matrix, as you guys can see here, is basically just a way to make a to-do list. So you would have the most important, which is urgent, so do now, and also important. Less urgent but still important, which would be to schedule them. Then they have less important but urgent to delegate, and then also to just delete altogether. I personally remove the bottom half completely, simply because I don't have anyone to delegate anything in my life to. I also just, if it's a delete category, I just don't write it down. So personally, I use half of the Eisenhower matrix, and I simply just made it like this. Notion has like a million templates they have on their Notion gallery, and you can see the Eisenhower matrix here, how the original is. You can use this template if you want to. There's a bunch of variations of it. So this is kind of what it would look like if you were just going to use it in Notion. However, again, I personally prefer using only half of it. So I have literally, I will just copy and paste things into here, and I will then put it like in order of priority. So let's say I haven't exercised in a week and I'm feeling completely terrible, like my body hurts and I just need to exercise. So I will put it as a priority to exercise that day. And for instance, let's say that my muscles are going to be expiring today, so I have to cook them, so then I will definitely put it also as like the third thing that I have to do that day. So basically these are already in the order of which I will go, but then on top of that, I like to also categorize them down here so that I can just see the most important things, the 3 most important things that I have to do from basically all 4 categories. And so then here just goes any menial tasks like canceling a subscription or phone calls, emails, like stuff that doesn't have to be done today. I can do in like any 5 minutes of free time that I have that I can just get done. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, let's go over the morning routine and the night routine. Let me make it straight. Okay. All right, so now let's go over the morning routine and night routine buttons. So buttons are basically where you just click on something on this little button, and then it creates automatically an entire list or database from that. So you don't have to manually write this all out every single day. You can just check it off as you go through the day. Hold on, I don't want to highlight it. You can check it off as you go through the day and then delete it at night and start over the next day. So to make a button, all you have to do is press /button. And this is the simplest version, is where you just make a list. So I would press add action, insert blocks, and then this is where you start typing your list. So it's honestly easier to just do it outside. So you can do to do list and then just type thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, and then you would just drag that into the block. Let's delete that space and done. So now you just have a list that automatically generates. And so that's how I made my morning routine and night routine lists, since they repeat every single day. I also have this time blocker because I just sometimes, it honestly depends on the day, but sometimes it's helpful for me to just write in like what's going on that day. So let's just, for example, say exercise, that's not how you spell exercise, lunch, and you get the idea. So basically you would just fill this out, and if especially you have days that just repeat over and over, it can be helpful to just see your day in a time blocked schedule. So here is my deadline dump. Simply, it's a calendar view of the month actually, and also the way that I made the deadline dump look like a calendar instead of a table was that you go to these 3 little gray dots, you press layout, and then you can make it a calendar. So originally, when I first showed it to you guys, it was a table like this. And so I just click calendar, and now it looks like a calendar. So I can see any deadlines that I have going on today. All right, so now let's go to the this week view. And so in the this week view, you can see it's very simple, but I have in here again the deadline dump, but for this specific week. And the way I filter which week it is, as you can see, also I choose which category. So I can choose to have all of the categories in here, and I can unhide them. So if I have anything going on in these other categories, and the way you hide things if you don't want to see them or you unhide them is you just go into the group area, and since it's grouped by categories, you can see each category is here. That's how this database is grouped by, and you can just go down here and then hide them if you want to, or make them visible. And so here you can see I put week 8. I'll change it to, this is just for a lot of weeks, but here you can put week 4, for example, you put week 2, week 1, and I'll show any deadlines that you have in a certain week. So at the beginning of each week, I just change the week number so that I see what's going on in my life. And then I also have this border that I made from Canva, again, to split it up. And so these are the tasks that I actually need to do to complete my goals that I set for myself that are not with an actual deadline given to me by like outside forces like school or work, but deadlines that I set for myself. And basically just goals like learning new recipes or learning how to do push-ups that are entirely within my control. But these are the things that I chose for the specific week. This week, I need to do these tasks to get towards my goals. So it's also convenient to see that in this week view as well. And down here, we just have a week plan view. And this is where I would put my giant to-do list at the beginning of the week and then just copy and paste them into the today view from each day of the week. Okay, so now let's go into months at a glance. And so as you can see, first of all, I have linked my Spotify here. And so just like with anything else, you can paste the link to Spotify and then embed it into your Notion. And then this is just a widget showing how much is left of this month and also how much is left of this quarter, since my year is split up into 4 quarters, as you guys can see. So the 4 quarters of the year, or the 12-week year, is actually a pretty popular book. And so the 12-week yearbook recommends to split your year into 12 weeks so that you can accomplish more in a shorter amount of time in those 3 months, rather than trying to, again, have goals for the entire year, which just is way too long of a time frame for our brain to process. So again, this method really helped me with sticking to my goals, and I honestly think it's like one of the main reasons why I've accomplished anything. And yeah, so as you guys can see, I'm showing you guys the January, February, March. So I have my quarter 1 goals up here, and then I also have my quarter 1 goals down here. And so I've seen quite a few people also put their yearly goals like at the top here, but I actually don't want to see my yearly goals at all. I just want to focus on the next 3 months, and at the end of the 3 months, see my yearly goals and then go back to just focusing on the next 3 months. So here, as you can see, these are like my quarter 1 goals, and then these are my completed goals. So I obviously have not actually completed this. This was just an example. So this isn't entirely accurate. It basically only goes by whatever tasks you've come up with. So since I only said do 20 knee up push-ups for like 3 weeks, here, as you can see, kneeling push-ups, and I did all of the requirements, it then reflects up here. So it's not actually showing. So you actually have to go through and make the new tasks for all 12 weeks if you want to like 100% accurately reflect the progress bar here, but I don't really care about that. I usually just go week by week, making up tasks as I go based on the previous week, and that also flexibility has been something really key as well. So that's why I personally like to be very flexible with setting my tasks for my weekly, quarterly goals, and I look at the previous week and see, was I able to do what I told myself to do? And if I wasn't, I then make it a little bit easier the next week. And if I did do it or went way above and beyond, then I'm like, okay, I can do this. And so I make it a little harder. But I keep seeing, what am I actually capable of? Yeah, as you guys can see, this is how the template works. So the more check marks, you can see here's the frequency of how often I need to do the task. So once I did it 1 time, it's 100% over here, I'm done. 4 times here, so if I do it 4 times, then it's 100% done. And you can see it also reflects up here. And the reason it reflects up here is these are 2 actually separate databases, but they are related to each other. As you can see here, they're related to each other. But yeah, that's how basically I like to see how I'm making progress for my goals for the quarter. And so if I actually press on the goal, I'll be able to see in here all the tasks for that specific goal that I have, as well as by the week. And so as you can see here, if I make a new goal, then it instantly already has a template. So now, and it sometimes goes out of order. So the way that you would fix that is you press the little 3 buttons, you go by group by week, and then you just unhide the weeks that are missing and put them back in order. It can be a little bit frustrating sometimes, but it is what it is. Ta-da. So, and now we'll have the tasks by week in here as well for this goal template, for this new goal. So I also set it up so it would automatically be ready for a new goal. And so then I also have one for the spring, for April, May, June. As you can see, it's very pink themed. And then also for July, August, September, we got Cornelia Street and, you know, very summery sort of vibes here. And also, again, we also have autumn themed. And you can, of course, I probably will change this cover for December, but yeah. So this is basically, it's just the same, but I did have to make them separately, the same different databases for every single page. I didn't like copy and paste them because they're related. There were complications with that. So I had to manually make every single database. I'm gonna admit it took me a bit of a while, but now I never have to make them again because I can just use them every single year, which is super convenient. And so of course we have a monthly calendar, which also shows everything going on in the month. Okay, so now let's go to year at a glance. So year at a glance, overall, if you guys have watched some of my past videos about planning, I've mentioned that I prefer directions over goals, because for the broad year at a glance, like I don't know, for example, like with health, what is going to be my ideal sleep schedule, or like how strong will I really get this year? So my goal is basically to have these 4 focus areas and just do the absolute best that I can. That's why they're directions. It's like, what direction am I going in, rather than like some concrete specific goals. The concrete specific goals are more for the quarterly, but the overall yearly goals, I prefer having them broader. It just really helps me not freak out like I failed my New Year's resolutions and then be all depressed on New Year's, if that makes sense. And also, this is like a sample vision board. It's not mine. I didn't make it. It's from Pinterest, and you can definitely find like a million Pinterest boards, vision boards on Pinterest if you don't feel like making your own, or you can make your own in like Canva, for example. But yeah, so this would be where the vision board goes since it's year at a glance. And so this idea I actually got from the year at a glance from bullet journaling, and also I watched Ali Abdal's time management video, and he also mentioned how important it was to have a year at a glance. So I decided to make one, and it definitely does help a lot to have to have this kind of vertical column view of the year. And also, I did not have to manually type all of this, thankfully. I figured out that I could just ask Notion AI to do it for me. So I just made this first column for January manually, and then I can find the command here. And then just told AI, so you press space for AI, and then I said write out in a vertical column all the dates for blah blah blah, like I did in January on this page. And so then it just did all the work for me. I think I even screen recorded how it was doing it for me. But yeah, so you don't have, so yeah, definitely try to test out Notion AI. It can help you with a lot of things. Okay, so next up we have the habit tracker, as you can see here. So this one is blank, it's not my actual one, and then this is just a sample one as well. But yeah, so basically to show you guys how it works, if you click on this button, it creates a new habit tracker as well as a summary for the month, as well as a little border that will block off underneath here. So all 3 of these things came from the habit tracker button. If you click the settings, you can see here. And you have to weirdly do things in the opposite order. It's really counterintuitive. You have to have the top one be at the bottom and then the bottom one be at the top. I don't know why, but that's just how it generates it. But yeah, so you can see here, this is the habit tracker. So let's say it's the 1st of March. And so each time I do one of the daily habits, then it creates, as you can see, it fills up the progress bar right there. Ta-da! And then also, and you can see here the formula for that if you guys want to see that. And then you can see I just put in all of the different things into here, and then I made it a number and I divided it by 5 since there's 5 categories. Okay, so and then here I would put the number of sleep hours. So let's say I have 6 hours one night, 4 hours another night, 10 hours or 12 hours another night, and then 6 hours. And then it will average it if you go down here, and the average hours of sleep you have is right there, which I think is really convenient. And then here I just write like the longest streak because I like to count streaks. So the longest streak I had for like 10K steps. So as an example here, you would be like, okay, 10K steps. The longest I had was like 4 days, for example. And then you would put like 4 days. Longest streak for stretching would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you just put 7 days. And that way you can also put the sum here of how many boxes have been checked so that you can see how many days in total did you do each habit. And it's also just really helpful information if you like tracking yourself like I do. Yeah, so that's the habit tracker page. And then over here we have projects. I love these window view sort of pictures. I also made them on Canva. I got the pictures from Pinterest. But yeah, you can see it's a very creative sort of vibes in this one. And here, this is the projects template. This is the projects database that also is linked to my notification page on my homepage. So as you can see, let's say that I finished the Notion tour and I say done. So originally it said that there were 2 projects. And so now it says I have only 1 active project because I have only 1 project currently in progress since this one's not started and this one's done, so neither of them are active anymore. So here also I linked this database to this one. I didn't put a progress bar just because I don't really care, but yeah, so here you can see if you actually click on the video, the project, the task list from the giant task list is specified here for this particular project. And then also I have in here like the outline of the video. This would be the voiceover script if I had one, useful ideas, reference list, etc. for this particular video. And I also have it as a template, so I can just click on this and make a new YouTube video project right here, and it will automatically generate everything for me. And so here I have, here's just the giant list of everything that I have to do for a particular video. And again, I can filter it by the project or by the due date. I don't have the due dates right now here, but if it's complete or not, etc. And so up here, I just have ideas. So this is just like a template for where I would write in like a list of ideas for different things, like hobbies, like what hobbies I want to try this year, or what side hustle ideas I have. And then last but not least, we have the scripts. So these are like old scripts, for example, like I would put in here, and it's just useful to have an archive of scripts. That's the projects page. And so now let's go to academia, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious about. So academia, it could be university, however you want to title it, high school. These are links to different places in my university, except I'm not going to Harvard right now. I just didn't put my actual university. Hog farts. The way that you make a certain word turn into a link is you just type link, not link. You just type in like, let's say home page, for example. And then you would highlight this and you would say a link, and then you would paste a link into here and it would become linked. And you can always edit this as well. So you can see I clicked on it and it sent me to Harvard's library. So you can edit, you can edit this. Cooperate with me, please. Edit, and here you can see you can change the link. Ta-da! So it's just a useful thing to have here. And then over here we have the current classes. So current classes, I also have a automatic template. As you can see here, this is the default template. You can change which template is a default just by clicking set as default. And so here, as you can see, every time I create a new class, it generates the course template, and then you can of course edit the title, edit the cover. So here's like the course description, instructor information, TA information, information about this course, textbook information, etc. And yeah, and then here's the deadline dump, and I would filter it by the class. So as an example, you can see here it says, are there exams? Because some classes don't have exams. And then I just put the last day of class because they can be quite different in my school. So just to kind of know when is the semester ending for that class. And so here you can see this is a big view of the same exact template I just showed you for a sample neuroscience class that I did last year. Yeah, so I just filled in the information. Obviously, it wasn't Professor Dumbledore, but yeah, I put in the grade percentages, breakdown, the weighting of all of the assignments, the textbook information, and then I also filtered it specifically by this class, and I just put like what's not started yet, and then obviously my past assignments as well. Okay, so now let's go down to here. These are the deliverables for this particular week. So I just filter, let's see, this is like week 4, for example. You can do week 8 as an example, and you can see there's nothing for the pseudoscience class, and there's 2 things for the neuroscience class. So you can just change the filter by clicking filter and then going to week and then just changing which week it is this week and then seeing what's going on in that week, for example. So yeah, and that's how I see what's going on this week. So now we have a calendar view of the deadline dump again, just to see the classes and the assignments in calendar view. So that's how that looks. I also put a Pomodoro timer right here. As you can see, it's from by Kairos. So here you can see these are these like time blocking Notion widgets here that are super cute. You can just copy the URL once you've made your custom one and paste it into Notion. So here you can see this is a Pomodoro timer, and then this is a break timer over here. And so then also over here I have useful information. So like a degree audit where I just break down the classes in a major, which ones I've done, which ones are in progress, and which ones I still need to complete. I have all of my classes listed here for the entirety of like university or high school, wherever you are, by the semesters, and then this would be where the grades go. I mean, I obviously already graduated this past December, so I know that everything was an A. Once you find out, you can change the grade, letter grade, and then let's actually drag that out a little. And then also the credits for each class and the instructor. So it's just like a little history of all the classes you took. And then we have important files. So this would be transcripts. If you have any transcripts, like for example, as a sample, like you could put a PDF or screenshot of your transcript for university. You can put scholarships. If you have any scholarship documents, you can put any financial aid documents in here. You can put any tuition dates. So tuition payments, I just like list all of my tuition payments, and then I like to see like the sum of like how much money did I pay for college, and then also like did I pay yet or not, and everything like that. And then I also embedded a calculator widget into here as well. So, and then here we have applications. So again, if you're applying to colleges or if you're planning to apply or grad schools like I will be at some point, this is where you have your dream lists of universities. Then you also would have your universities that you actually applied for. So you would write the status of your application, and then the decision of the application, and then like any information like was financial aid offered, and then you can add in anything else in there when you're trying to make your decision of where to go. So yeah, so that's my academics dashboard. And now let's go into the other not as often used, but still very important pages. So first we're going to start off with all of the stuff under the self-care area, and that would be workouts. So this is a warm-up that I do every single day. The first thing I do to warm up, then I usually do elliptical for 20 minutes, and then I sometimes also do a 20 minutes walking workout with Emmy Wong. But yeah, this is actually Chloe Ting, I think. She had stickers on Jiffy, but yeah. And so then I have down here different workouts that I use all the time. And so right now I'm doing this one 3 times a week. So I have it just linked here and I can watch it in here. I don't have to look it up on YouTube. Same thing goes with my favorite walking workout right now. And then also hips, since my hips are annoyingly weak. Yeah, so I basically just put everything that I regularly use or would like to have access to under each category so that I don't have to search it up on YouTube and just inconveniently. And so here's like my this week's fitness tracker. So I would just track like how many times did I run that week, how many times did I do strength workouts, how many times did I do a hip workout, how many times did I do a mobility session, for example, and then also like my running times, my longest running time, and then also the distance that I covered in miles, and then also like the total time I ran, because sometimes I'll run and then stop and then run again. So let's say it was like 20 minutes, for example. So here I put like the average amount of time I ran. You can also write the sum of like how many minutes did I run this week, the average time, and also same thing with the average miles I ran or the total miles that I ran. Here's some, and it's just super convenient how Notion can just instantly add this up for you. You don't have to like get a calculator. And again, there is a fitness tracker here. So just press it and bam, there's a new fitness tracker for the week. Okay, so now let's go into Glow Station. So here we have skincare, fashion, hair care, makeup, energy, and sleep. So here, as you can see, this would be like my anti-acne routines that I like watching on YouTube, that I refer to, current prescriptions, and vitamins. And then here would be like fashion, favorite places to shop, for example, or fashion tips. You could write like a wish list of certain pieces, for example. Hair care, just information about my hair and hair routines that I want to refer to. Energy information, like which current supplements I have or anything else, like how I feel about caffeine, for example. And so here I have a self-care shopping list so that I know when I'm running low on certain self-care items and when it's empty, so I need to buy them, and I have the links already right here to Amazon so I don't have to look it up every single time. So these are all of the regular like self-care products that I do use like every month, every couple months, every 3 months, but that regularly I keep reusing. And so I can change the status to like empty or running low, or I have, as you can see already, like I just bought it, so that means I have it and it's good, running low, etc. So now let's go into the library, to the recipes, not the library, not yet. So lately I've been obsessed with Pick Up Limes' app. It is amazing for healthy foods. But yeah, so here are like the ones that I've been regularly doing. This is like the 5th time I'm gonna be making these this week. But yeah, so then here are the directions and then also the grocery list. So let's say I wanna make them this week and I don't have hypothetically any of these things, then I would just go here and then just paste them into the overall grocery list, and then I can just screenshot the grocery list or just reference it when I'm shopping, and it's super simple. And so I customize, so this is a gallery view. Just like previously, you can see it's originally a table, but then I put it into gallery view, and I also organize them by how long of the time it takes for them to cook, and also how many stars I gave the taste, and then also hot and cold. So let's say it's winter right now, so I want only hot meals. So now I can see only the hot meals. And yeah, so that's how I set up my recipes page. And so now let's go into my library. And so to be honest, I did not read much last year. It was quite a dry year for me for reading, so it was sad. But yeah, so I honestly didn't even have a reading tracker. I just recently made this because I realized I should have a reading tracker. It'll probably motivate me to read more. Yeah, so here I just write in the name, and this I made on Canva as well. You don't have to, you can just download the picture and it'll just be like white background and then I'll have the picture in it. But basically, you can write in here like your thoughts about the book in here. I don't really have usually many thoughts about books, honestly, right now, but yeah, you can write in thoughts about books in here, or just anything else you want to write. Like if you're going to write a Goodreads review, you could do a draft in here. And then I also have it by which genres they are, like how many stars I gave, and then also the progress. So like, is it in progress? Did I not finish it, or is it in progress? Is it finished? You know, that kind of stuff. And so if you see the layout as a table, you can also see that it shows when I started the book and then also when I finished the book. And so that way I can also just see like a timeline of my reading, and we can go back to gallery view. And so last but not least, for sure, is the finances page. This is my second favorite. As you can see, this is very much old money aesthetic in here. And yeah, so this is, I use PayPal and Bank of America all the time. So that's why I have the links right there. So if I click on it, bam, I'm in PayPal. And I don't actually put my genuine login information in here because that would be terrifying. But I do put like a scrambled version that I know what the answer is, only I do. And so that way, like, I can just easily remember when I'm logging in. But yeah, so that can be just something you can do. Then there's a calculator up here again as well. I also have like a link to Stripe and stocks. I don't have anything in here, but this is just hypothetically if you have like stocks in a fund somewhere. So these are just some money reminders. And then down here, we have my favorite part, which is this month's income and expenses. So it shows me this month's income and expenses. So for example, oh yeah, I made a previous version of this recording and I was messing around with it, so this looks insane right now. Okay, so let's just take an example. I'm just gonna make it really clear. So we're gonna say like 2000, we're gonna do like this. Okay, this is fine. And also disclaimer, like I'm not actually showing you guys my finances, so like don't worry, I'm not like, you know, prostrating myself for you guys. But yeah, so I'm pretending here that my expense amount was 19,000, like that it was insanely expensive. I paid 13,000 for rent for some reason. And so here, as you can see, it will give me the sum of my income for the month and then the sum of my expenses, and you just write them out. So like, let's put another example. Like I spent, I don't know, what would I buy? A purse, and I bought it on January 17th or 18th, whatever, 17th for $1,000 because I'm crazy. And I used a credit card and it was entertainment, I guess. I honestly don't buy myself stuff, so I don't know how else to categorize that in January. So now we have, and if you want to make it have an icon, I don't really particularly care, but you can just go to the little dots icon and just put money. Sorry, money. Boom, there we go. Now it matches. Okay, so let's say I spent $20,000 in January. So here you can see also then it is tied into this category where you can see now purse showed up in entertainment. And so now it's summarizing by category. So like you can see here I have everything in different categories, but let's say that for whatever reason, the purse was for a business purchase. Let's say I was buying it for a YouTube video. And so let me remove entertainment and just, it was a business purchase. So now you can see it fell into the category of business purchases. So now that category got higher. And so the sum is the same here and here, but it is showing me how much I spent per category. So it's helpful for me to see. So now I can see also in this view, which is nice, how much money I spent per month in each category. And the same thing goes with income categories here, income by categories, it's same thing. So I put in here which income category these things came in. And so now I can see how much money I made from different categories of my income. So then down here, this is all also linked into accounts. So now it shows how much money I spent on my credit card. So what the current balance is and expenses. It also shows my business account. So how much money I made for my business account, how much I spent for my business account, what the total balance is there. My personal account, it will show, you know, how much money I made, how much I spent there, and what the total balance is. And then also savings in here as well. So these are all tied in as well. As you can see, it shows where the money, the income was going, which destination, and then also where the money was being taken out of. So yeah, and the way I do that, so you can see here in the table view, it shows my total expenses, my total income, and my current balance, and I also put my starting balance in here. And so yeah, so now it has a very clean view, and the way I get that view is I go to gallery and then I just show card preview none, and that's how it shows me this really nice, cute view where it's very aesthetic and also very easy to follow. And so down here, I also have savings. I'll show you guys how to automatically add icons for everything. So let's go to the three dots, type icon. I don't know, let's make it more fun. Let's just do like this. Now let's see. So these are like all of my savings that I actually currently have saved. For example, again, not my actual numbers. I'm just giving an example. So let's say I'm saving up for bathroom renovation, which I actually am, but it's, let's say I have a savings of 5,300. Let's say Munchkin, my little brother, has a birthday, so that's how much I saved for his birthday. Room makeover that I have planned this month, savings. And so down here, this is also tied in. You can see here my monthly savings. This is my actual goal amount, and this is how much I've actually saved. And so now you can see my savings progress. So here you can see room makeover, my goal is $3,000 and I have only 1,200, so it's 40% of the way. So just useful to see how much of the savings I actually have versus my goal wish amount. And so here you can just see also monthly savings by itself, and then also my wish list progress as well, just by these pictures. I didn't put in a picture in there yet, and you put one of like Disney or something. And the way you go is you just go in, you press the large button, you click add cover, change cover. Let's just see if there's anything Disney related. Yay! Pretty. Okay. So let's just do that one. There. Cool. So now we have a Disney castle. Like that. That's prettier. Okay. So there we go. And so now I see the progress for my monthly wish list. And so last but not least, I like to erase everything once the month has ended. So actually I don't want this. I want this to be for this. But yeah, I don't like I like everything to be 1 month at a time. I don't like it to be all cluttered, and I don't like to have multiple months in each thing. It just gets too complicated. So I just screenshot, like up there, as you guys can see, I just put screenshots of everything in here, and then I just put them in there. And I also like to write them down. If you guys remember from my last video, I talk about how I also write down all my finances on paper. But yeah, it just makes it really convenient. I just have a financial snapshot of the month, and I screenshot everything and put it into here, and then bam, I have it for the whole year. So yeah, that was my Notion tour. I hope it was helpful. Also, I finally have my first product ever for Study to Success, which is the overall template of this entire Notion setup. I do have several of the pages in this template offered for free if you guys want to download them, but it's been my dream for like the past 7 years, almost since I started this channel, to have my own small business. I realized that I really liked making this Notion setup. I really like making Notion templates, honestly, and decorating them and just making them themed and making them really useful and actually help you achieve your goals without making you have a mental breakdown of how complicated it is. And so if you guys are interested in this template, the link will be in my description box. And considering I have several giant giveaways coming up that I have planned for you guys, probably whatever, if I do make any money from this, will go straight towards the giveaways for you guys. So any support is appreciated. Any feedback is appreciated. I will be the customer service support person by myself, helping you guys out if you have any issues with downloading the template. But this is a really exciting thing for me because I have been thinking about like, what could I do to kind of contribute and, you know, solve a problem. I think analysis paralysis and just feeling overwhelmed with life is a huge problem. And I hope in any way this template can make planning and just life a little bit less stressful, a little more simple, but still very fun and aesthetic. And check the description for sure, because there's going to be a lot of information in there. And yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around. Bye guys.